Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at counting losses. This is a task in the Tatras region. This task is located in Owl Lake Ridge, and you need to have completed running on water to unlock this task. So we are currently at the task pickup location, and I'll go over where that is. It's right here. The easiest way to get here is to start from the northeast outpost, make your way down the mountains, and just around this big mountain, right along the shoreline, up to the task pickup location. So, we need to find a couple of kayaks. So, starting here, we're going to make our way to the north and across the river. This is a bridge crossing that I've already built. It is 75 spare parts to open up these bridges. After that, we're going to head up and around these trees and over to this location where we're going to be doing some drone scanning. After that, we're going to just make our way back and down the river shore, up through the foothills here and across the river over to our second location here. This one you can just ignore. So it's just those 2 points. That's where we're headed. So that being said, let me show you how it's done. For this task, we're going to be using the Sentinel, and if you have any questions about my vehicle loadout, you'll find that in the description below. So let's begin. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and just drive up out of the task pickup location. We're just going to make our way right on over to those 2 handy bridges that we've already built. Like I mentioned before, those are 75 spare parts if you haven't built these bridges already. Just going to go right up across these bridges, right around this big rock here. Just going to get us up over bridge number 2. Once we get across the bridges, we're going to go ahead and make our way right on up the hillside. Once we get up the hill, we're going to go through this little pond, and we're just going to skirt around the edge of it here, just to keep ourselves up on the dry ground. And from here, we're just going to go up past these trees, and right on down through the gap in the rocks here. We're just going to go right through the middle of the water here. And this is a tricky spot here. We do have a little bit of steep banking that we're just going to go right around the corner. Up this hill on the left here, and that is going to put us in a good position to clamber across these rocks. Go over this big rock, kind of skirt around the edge of the trees here, and that is going to take us to our first location. So from here we're going to go ahead and do some drone scanning. So we're just going to go ahead and start by just going to the north here. And hit your drone scan point here. And from here, we're going to head off to the left. And that is going to be point number 2. And the last waypoint is up to the north. And that is going to be right here at the kayak. So we have officially found the first kayak. There it is. We should tell the crew that their equipment is safe. So with that done, this is where we're at. We're going to go ahead and make our way back across the bridge and just kind of follow the hillside down so we can cross the river over here to get to our next location. So we're going to go ahead and get turned around here. And we're just going to use the same pathing we used to get over here. So we're just going to go right through the trees here. It's going to allow us to climb up over this big rock. And clamber across these rocks here. And up and around the hill here. We're going to stay up on the top side here, which is going to give us a better angle to get through this little gap here. definitely a tricky spot. And from here, we're just going to dart right across the water. And then right on up the hill. And just like last time, we're going to skirt around the edge of this little pond here. Right on over to these purple flowers. And then down the hill and across our bridges. Just going to get right across the bridge here. Fortunately, this rock is not so much of a problem going this direction, so we're just going to go right over the rock and right across our second bridge. Once we get across the bridge, we're going to start making our way to the south. Back up onto the hill where we had started at. So we're just going to keep going this time. Right over here we got some rocks to climb over. Kind of fell in the ditch there. Didn't quite have the angle right there. That's okay. Turn around and just use this little gap here. And yeah, we're just going to follow the shoreline here. Nothing too dangerous or treacherous to worry about here. Just going to go right up the hill. This does get a little tricky here. There are some steep drop-offs and things. So we kind of just head towards this tree. That will get us to a lower spot with some water that we'll be able to use. And right over here we can use this slanted spot to climb up around the rocks. And from here we're just going to head up through the forest. Kind of right around these big trees. And right down into this little wet spot here. This is another little tricky spot here because we're going to be kind of heading down and turning up the hill. So you want to just watch your speed a little bit just to maintain vehicle balance going up this hill. Once we get to the top, it is going to be downhill from here. So we're just going to follow the path as it kind of weaves around the rocks. So we make our way down the hill here. And from here, we're just going to follow the river down until we get to a clear spot where we can cross over to this island and get across the river. Just going to use these high spots here. And then cross on over the island. And right up these rocks. That is going to allow us to climb down to this shallow spot to get across to the other side of the mainland. And from here, we're just going to climb right up this gap in the rocks. If we get bogged down, we can use these trees like this, just to kind of pull us up the rest of the way. And then just shoot the gap in the trees, and that is going to be our second location, which is going to play a little cinematic as we find the lost kayak. and a third one. And there you go. Good work. Now we can cheer our colleagues up a bit because they got really upset with the perspective of having to cover the cost of the lost equipment. Anyway, we still have to bring the kayaks back, but we won't bother you with this anymore. Thanks so much for your help. And that is going to complete counting losses. So hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think, and until next time, I'll see you in the wilds. Bye-bye.